I love that. You know what? That just starts my day out right. Bro. Yes, that starts my day off. No matter what happens, I feel better once I hear that. What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great hump day. It's time to get over the hump, get humping, or whatever you do on hump day, but it is that hump day, get a humping. So the Cowboys will get back on the practice field today. We'll find out where we stand as far as injuries. Hopefully, we won't be missing 3 offensive linemen going forward. This game has been analyzed in all forms and fashions. People have literally buried the Cowboys after one game, and I'm here to say, listen, relax, okay? Here's the thing that's kind of funny. Now, last year, we focused in on Dak Prescott's interceptions and things. Interceptions, right? Well, at the moment here, let's just look at this for a second here. At the moment here, as we look at interceptions in the NFL, Dak Prescott's got 1. Jimmy Garoppolo's got 6. Sam Howell's got 5. Josh Allen's got 4. Justin Fields got 4. Daniel Jones got 4. Zach Wilson's got 4. Kenny Pickett's got 3. Ryan Tannehill's got 3. Tua's got 2. Okay. Jared Goff's got 2. Kirk Cousins got 2. Russell Wilson's got 2. Derek Carr's got 2. Pat Mahomes got 2. Matthew Stafford's got 2. Oh, Jalen Hurts has 3, by the way. Deshaun Watson has 2. Trevor Lawrence has 2. Mac Jones has 2. Bryce Young has 2. And Blaine Gabbert's got 2. So we took care of the interception problem. So now our problem is the red zone. Now, some people think that Cowboys screwed the pooch as far as Zeke Elliott. We should have had Zeke. True, Zeke was a battering ram. But the reality is we couldn't afford to spend $16 million for a battering ram. Just can't. What we need, and here's the thing, more than anything else, the thing that has been overlooked, which is a problem that's rearing its head, and I will say that, honestly, you can call me a homer, but the penalty flags were not the same on both sides of the field. The Cowboys had 16 flags, the most this season called on them. And the way that they were calling things, these things, you looked at them, and even the commentators are like, I didn't quite see that one. To then turn around and pick up the flag on what was definitely pass interference by the way they were calling it, with Michael Gallup in the end zone, was you realize that this was one of those days that things just weren't going to go right. It's very hard to win when you turn over the ball a lot or you get penalized a lot. Because every time you start to get a drive going, you get a penalty. Now it's 1st and 20 or sometimes 1st and 25. It's hard to recover from those things. Now, we're going to have some games with officials that are just going to be like that. It just are. But you compound that with new guys starting on the offensive line. They did a pretty good job at run blocking, which is, I won't say it's easy, but it's easier to run block than it is to pass block. Because, see, the difference here is run blocking is, I'm putting my weight on my hands. I am going forward. I'm trying to drive through you, okay? That's more aggressive, okay? Pass blocking is I'm stepping back and trying to figure out where this guy's going, and I've got a mirror with him. It's more defensive, and it's harder to do than it is to run block. And that's one of the things that, of course, Mike McCarthy says, I want to run the damn ball. True, but you also got to be able to pass the ball. So you compound having new offensive linemen starting, along with one finally getting his first start this season, Tyler Smith. Tyler Smith's been injured and has not been practicing. This was his first game back. You compound that with Brandon Cooks just getting back from injury as well, with all of these penalties and your defense as well, giving up the run. And let's be clear here. the Dallas Cowboys took the Arizona Cardinals for granted. They just did. They didn't show up like this was a team they needed to worry about, and it showed up on the field. Now, what I hope going forward is that we get our offensive linemen back. I'm more worried about Tyron Smith than I am, say, Zach Martin, because Tyron Smith is that guy that seems to just be broken down. If we can get back two of those guys, we're in much better shape than if we don't get all three. Okay? We're okay if we can get Zach Martin and Biotis back. We can work around, it's not ideal. But we need to get Tyron Smith 100% healthy. And I don't know at this point if that's even a possibility. Those things matter. Now, do I expect the Cowboys to play like that next week? No. Now, we do know we got Zeke Elliott coming to town. Of course, they've also got Will Greer, so they definitely know the Cowboys' offense inside and out. And that's why the Cowboys are working on changing the signals and the looks so that way they're not being given away by those two guys. Now, I can't wait to see today's injury report because, like I said, we want to see how bad these guys are. I think, as they put it, had it been playoffs, they would have played. But they were erring on the side of caution and looking at it and figuring we should be able to beat Arizona with the backups and get them some work. And hopefully we get a win. Didn't work out that way. But at least you got them some work in. Got them some rest in, and hopefully it works. So the big thing right now is the Cowboys screwed up by getting rid of Zeke Elliott. And so I want to go through because Marcus Spears actually puts this in a great perspective here, talking about what happened to the Cowboys.
Despite being 11-point favorites, and it was a day where nothing went right on defense. They allowed 222 yards on the ground. They only pressured the quarterback 8 times. Swagoo couldn't believe it. On offense, they couldn't do anything in the red zone. 1 touchdown on 5 trips. Dak threw a costly interception late. Terrible day in the red zone. And
that interception, the game was already
lost. Issue again, 16 of them. Most by any team in a game this season. Cowboys have been the 3rd most penalized team since Mike McCarthy's first season back in 2020. I have not had a chance to talk to my favorite former Cowboy about this. Marcus, I've been asking the question all week here. Was this just a bad day, or was this a bad sign?
It was a bad day. Okay. I'm not full on panic.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys. It was a lot of things that were very disappointing though. Like, this looked like the penalties, obviously, that you mentioned. The red zone problems, I think, is a bit overblown. I don't want to, I don't make excuses for the Cowboys. Y'all know that. But the red zone is you can fix that in a week. They may go 4 for 5 this week. It just depends on making plays. They had tight ends drop 2 passes in the first week, which would change them numbers drastically. I don't think Zeke Elliott is the answer to the red zone. I saw y'all talking about that. The thing that I was most disappointed in is, and Jeff knows this and Foxy knows this, they played like they thought Arizona sucked.
Right.
And they didn't give the respect to the team. The first 2 weeks we saw the Cowboys, because their opponents were the Jets and the Giants, say, we got to go out and make a statement. Remember, G, the Cowboys didn't know Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be playing for the Jets. That was a big game for them coming up. The Giants, obviously, in division opponent. They went to Arizona very disrespectfully. I pointed out yesterday, from a scheme standpoint, I thought Dan Quinn adjusted late. There were a lot of plays that Jonathan Gannon and this staff put together that they just could not defend. I got clips of guys lined up on top of each other on defense.
Yeah.
It was just so out of ordinary for them before the play started. So here's the thing that the Cowboys have to decide. All right. When it comes to Dak Prescott, and it's the lightning rod when we talk about the Dallas Cowboys, do we feel comfortable with him having the ball in his hands in these critical times, or when we ask him to go down and make game-winning drives? Dak can do it, but this is right now 0-1 in those moments. And it's going to be like that for the season. We can't expect this defense to do what they do every week. Sometimes you got to go out and you got to overcome the adversity of not having 3 starting offensive linemen. You got to overcome the adversity of your defense not shutting people out. And I don't think that's a lot to ask when you asking that just a few times a season. And right now, that thing reared its ugly head at the end of the football game. I'm not talking about the turnover. I'm talking about the ability to overcome all of the things that wasn't going well.
Yeah, some quick takes from everybody. Go.
Right, their performance was flat, but it was an anomaly. I mean, I really do believe that, and I agree with Swagoo. Like when you think about the Cowboys and what they have to work on, the red zone is something they have to work on. He's right about the drops. But when you get in the red zone, they've tried to run the red zone. Everybody told me this could be Zeke. The problem is, like, it's players, not plays when you hit the red zone. And that's a fact of football, right? Find a way to get your best guy. So get them more targets in that red zone. I think when you're looking at the Cowboys, I do disagree one thing. That defense can't do what it did against, because this team's not built to play from behind. So if you can give up a big play, you can't give up 200 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns in the first half, because your offense isn't predicated. You know, Mike McCarthy wants to slow this offense down. So if you're going to go with that mentality, you got to go Kellen Moore style. You just go wide open all the time. So
you got to find a happy medium in there.
You can't have the defense say, we're going to do this, and then allow that to happen early.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing the Cardinals.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys didn't have the track record that they had over the last few years, I'd be a little bit more concerned. But they've proven that they're a good enough team to get to the playoffs. The questions that we have about the Cowboys aren't going to get answered until we get to the playoffs.
I agree with you on that, but my thing is just, can we keep the smoke consistent? Like, we want to talk about Zach.
You get on my nerves.
I get it. But tell me, correct me if I'm wrong, is this not supposed to be a championship defense? Championship caliber defense?
Yeah.
Okay,
They lost because of defense.
Okay, 222 rushing yards. You let the Cardinals score on every drive in the first half? That ain't going to cut it. So, bad day, but please, send some smoke the defense's way instead of just that.
We will talk much more about the Cowboys coming up. You'll hear from Jerry Jones, and again, maybe he will sign another.
There you go. Can we give some smoke to the defense? Okay. And again, ain't nobody going 17-0. Relax. If this week ends up being kind of bad, okay, then we can start talking. But one bad game does not ruin a season. You know, look at the Bills right now. Everybody's kind of forgotten that game against the Jets where Josh Allen had 4 turnovers. I'm Mark Holmes, and, well, I got some work to do. And I'll see you soon.